why wouldn't you do it, right? Why wouldn't you run the RPOs if it's available to you as long as he could continue to do it? His injuries didn't come from getting hit. His injuries didn't come from him getting beat up. He didn't get whacked on the sideline like RG3 did when the Shanahans put him in harm's way. It's not the same, and I think that's the narrative that's always set about a guy who's running the football at the quarterback position. More quarterbacks get injured in the pocket than they do on the perimeter.
By a very little bit, but it's true, yeah.
Let me listen to me again, though, Max. More quarterbacks get injured in the pocket than they do on the perimeter.
That is the truth. That's a fact.
They want to set the narrative when talking about it. He's going to be in harm's way. He's going to get injured. Yes, it is more physical if he's running in open space and a dude is taking off 30 yards from down the field and coming at you like a missile. That is very true, but the same thing is true when you're in the pocket. But I do think that Lamar Jackson, with everything around him, as they continue to build, can bring Baltimore Ravens a potential Super Bowl. He really can.
I think so, too, but I think the wrinkle there that I put in is if teams are like, okay, beat us from the pocket, we're going to make sure he has to beat us with his arm. You can't do that with a quarterback the opposite way. You can't say, let's see him beat us with his legs because he's got a running back. You can force a guy to try to beat you with his arm, and if he's not practiced doing that.
But he is practicing doing it at the level that he needs to. Do you remember the Monday night game against the Rams? His MVP year?
You have to remind me.
It was a Monday night game in Los Angeles with Mark Ingram in the backfield, and they went out to L.A. You know, he stuck a torch to their ass.
Yeah. No, I've seen him do it.
They wanted to challenge him throwing the football. He lit them up to a whole nother level.
I've seen him do it, but I think the criticism is you got to keep doing it consistently. One thing I'll say.
But that, Max, that's criticism with all quarterbacks, man.
Yeah, but some of those guys, like Josh Allen now has shown people he can do it.
Yeah, okay. Did you see it? Which I hate to say did you because I know you did. Did you see Josh Allen his first 2 years?
100%.
What did he look like?
No.
He was on his way. They was on their way to thinking about drafting another quarterback.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, it turned like that.
Now, I want to bring this up, Key, because people talk about, he's going into his 5th year. And by now, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing about Lamar Jackson. What I look at as much as how many years you've been in the league is your age. Because if you're really young and you've been in the league for 5 years, it means you are capable of accomplishing great things at an early age. He's a month younger than Joe Burrow. So you can look at it two ways. You could say, well, Joe Burrow's only been in the league 2 years, and he already been to a Super Bowl. But the other way to look at it is
circumstances, though,
of course.
Right?
But what I'm saying is the other way to look at it is Lamar Jackson's a month younger than Joe Burrow.
No, he's younger,
and he's won an MVP, and he's won a playoff game.
Yeah, but it doesn't. The fact his age really to me doesn't matter because he matured at Louisville. He also has matured in the NFL, and then when you look at the situation. If he in the Baltimore Ravens was healthy last year, do you think that Cincinnati would have ran through that conference?
No. I think that Lamar Jackson he had 2 or 3 different weeks until he got hurt where he was the best player on earth. 2 or 3 separate weeks. Now, you're competing with a lot of different players. Like, the guy who wins the MVP may not be the best player in the league in any game, right? He's just among the best all through the season. But Lamar spent 2 or 3 different games until he got hurt. That's the best player in the world. And he was carrying a team that he had no business carrying. They really had no personnel. Until he got hurt, they were live.
Another thing you got to think about, when you look at him, and you mentioned age, right, Max? He's young. So let's look at him as a young quarterback.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
What do general managers do for young quarterbacks? They acquire talent around them. I can go down a long laundry list really quick for you. I can look at the Arizona Cardinals and the decision that they made to acquire DeAndre Hopkins away from the Texans because they had a young, up-and-coming quarterback in Kyler Murray that they needed to have a veteran receiver presence that could play. At the time, DeAndre Hopkins was a top 4 receiver in the league.
One of the best hands ever.
One of the best. He's still one of the top 10 receivers in the league. Missed a little bit of time this year because of the off-the-field stuff. What did the Buffalo Bills decide to do for Josh Allen?
Went out and got him Gilmore.
They went out. No, they went out and got Stephon Diggs. I know what you meant.
I meant Diggs.
I know what you
Stephon,
meant.
the other Stephon. Yeah.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
They went out and got Stephon Diggs, a veteran wide receiver that was still young. Mm-hmm. They haven't looked back since. Mm-hmm. What did the Raiders just do? They went out and traded for a veteran receiver to go with
Jamar
a really
Chase.
good quarterback. No, I'm not even talking about drafting. I'm talking about acquiring.
On the market, yeah.
I'm talking about acquiring veteran players that can play the position. What just happened in Miami for Tua Tagovailoa? Mm-hmm. They went out and got Tyreek Hill in a trade. Okay, even though they drafted Jalen Waddle, so my whole message,
A.J. Brown for
Hurts. My whole point is, when you have a young quarterback, what did the Dallas Cowboys do? They went out and got Amari Cooper and drafted CeeDee Lamb. The Baltimore Ravens have yet to really do that. Right. They went and got Bateman, who didn't play much last year, but
and profiles
that's not the
as a
same.
number 2. Let's be honest. He profiles as a number 2 type receiver, Bateman,
yes.
right?
Yeah. For now.
Yeah.
For now. If the Baltimore Ravens could somehow shake the tree and go and acquire one of these top 10 receivers via trade from somebody, I promise you that passing game will elevate to a whole nother level. And if it doesn't, then we could start to say it's on Lamar.
Well, that's what Bernard Pollard was talking about. All these receivers are changing teams. None of them went to the Ravens.
But that's not on them.
Right. You pointed out how the situation just, was a little different. That's for various reasons they didn't, but it wasn't because they don't want to play with Lamar Jackson. And in fact, Hollywood Brown tweeted in support of Lamar Jackson that people do want to play with him. And Lamar liked that tweet, of course.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.